Hello and welcome back to the David67 Celtic News YouTube channel. Today going to do a wee quick roundup of some Celtic news, a couple of bits of reaction to yesterday's news from Celtic fans and this channel itself, and start a wee bit looking forward to the game on Saturday against Rangers, 12:30, kick-off live on Sky Sports. A game that could practically ensure the title's going to come to Celtic if we can win. If we draw the game on Saturday, we then know 4 points out of 6 against Kilmarnock and St Mirren would then guarantee the title after that. So lots of things to play for. And I think Celtic go into the game on Saturday against Rangers with more confidence, more momentum, and as things stand, a fully fit squad, while Rangers do appear to have a number of injury concerns and a slightly patched up team at the moment, so it would appear. So before we get going with the actual video itself, please do, if you are new to the channel and enjoy this video and enjoy the content on the channel, which is a wee bit different from many of the other channels, please do click that subscribe button, get things pushing up to 500, which then allows the channel to be a level 2 YouTube creator, which would be a nice reward for the fun doing these videos each day. And always, as always, if you could click the like button, that'd be great. It helps with analytics, and as always, feel free to pop your pleasant, polite, constructive, informative debates and points and discussions into the comment section. So, some big news coming out of Celtic. It looks like Celtic are currently lining up a £5 million concrete bid for Adam Idah with Norwich to bring him to Celtic as one of our first summer signings. It also looks like we are continuing to negotiate with Benfica regarding what fee and what add-ons and percentages and this, that and the other for the Paulo Bernardo deal, which currently stands at a 6.4 million purchase price. Don't know what you feel yourselves. I think given Adam Idah's goal output and performances and his abilities and his talents that bring a different style of striker for Celtic, either as a sub for Kyogo or as a starter in place of Kyogo or as a 1-2 punch option alongside Kyogo, I think Idah would be a good player to come to Celtic. I think he's proven his abilities. I think he's proven he can score at the Scottish level at the very least. And of course, he does have a good number of caps for Ireland at international level and has scored at that level too, and reportedly gave Virgil van Dijk a very hard game when Ireland played Holland recently. So personally, I would be keen to see Idah come to Celtic as one of 2 new main strikers to go alongside Kyogo and O, forming a group of 4 talented strikers. Paulo Bernardo, I'm not so certain about. He hasn't, for me, quite proven his full ability. He's had several good games for Celtic. He's had several poor games for Celtic. And he's had several games where he hasn't really had too much of an influence. I think his best spell for Celtic probably was when he was consistently a first-choice striker, and he did certainly have a particularly good game against Rangers on the 30th of December last year, where he scored the first goal in our 2-1 win that day. So will be interesting to see how that all pans out, but very much I'm keen to see Adam Idah coming to Celtic. One player not coming to Celtic would be Michael Zetterer, the goalkeeper who was one of several being lined up to replace Joe Hart when Joe retires after the Scottish Cup final. Zetterer has now signed an extended contract with Werder Bremen to 2027 and appears to have been given an assurance by the club that he will be the number one starter for 24-25 onwards. I did say myself in the video, which did look at the potential signing of Zetterer for Celtic, I wondered whether he and his agent were using it as a bargaining chip to try to force Werder Bremen into an extension and a guarantee that he would be the number one from now on, rather than being primarily the number two keeper at Werder Bremen. Which then leaves Celtic with a number of goalkeepers we are said to be exploring. Patrick Pence seems to be the top of that list. He is keen to get away from Bayer Leverkusen as he wants to have first team football. He's had an excellent loan period at Brøndby, and so maybe they'll be the first in line to sign him in the summer. But there has been an apparent interest from Celtic, and Pence has also suggested that he would be open to that transfer as well. Coming to us, Etienne Vassen of Valvik in the Dutch league. He is also another goalkeeper linked to us. Not heard any further update on Vassen in the last month, and so it may well be that option has died away, and Pence would appear to be one of the main options going forward. The Begovic transfer, that appears to have died away. I think the Anthony Patterson and Kevin Kelleher transfers are both grossly inflated prices, which Celtic aren't willing to pay. And as I've said before, I think there are quite a number of very good, high quality goalkeepers who are ending their contracts currently at the end of May, starting in or June. And quite a number of goalkeepers also of very high quality who will be going into the last year of their contract, starting in July, August 24. And so I think Celtic do have quite a number of options still to explore and still to look into replacing Joe Hart. Wee bit of sad news. Aiden Montgomery, who has been at Celtic quite a number of years, did get a wee bit of first team action under Ange Postecoglou when we were having rather a lot of injuries. A player who plays left back, left midfield, and even left wing. And his versatility certainly was used by Ange Postecoglou in the 21-22 season. He has been away on loan since that time. He's had a rather unsuccessful spell up to Christmas at Fleetwood, then went to Motherwell, and then unfortunately suffered a very severe season-ending injury, which curtailed his Motherwell career after a game or two. He appears to be back to fitness. However, Rodgers and Celtic are going to be moving him on, and I am sure there will be quite a number of Scottish Premiership and Scottish Championship clubs very keen to sign him because of his experience and his versatility. Now, one other wee interesting story just seen in quite a number of news outlets and internet sites in the last 24 hours is that Celtic are exploring signing a 17-year-old player currently playing for Queen's Park, a young man called Aiden McGinlay, current Scotland under-17 international, was previously a Scotland under-16 international, and has as yet not made his first team debut for Queen's Park, but apparently has been the star player in their under-18 and B team games this season. There are a couple of English teams said to be looking into signing him. Ipswich appears to be one of the favourites. Ipswich, of course, just got promoted to the English Premier League for next season. He had a couple of weeks on trial at Ipswich previously, but chose to move to Queen's Park in the Scottish Championship instead when he left Partick Thistle. Also said to be on the radar of Norwich, Norwich, as you may be aware, are just about to start the playoffs in the English Championship, with the winner of that four-way playoff ending up in the English Premier League for next season. And then the question would then be whether Aiden McGinlay would prefer to move across Glasgow, probably for the first season or two playing in the B team, in the Lowland League, and also competing for Celtic in UEFA Youth Champions League games, potentially also in the second half of the season, maybe going out on loan to a Scottish Championship team to gain more experience, or whether McGinlay might prefer to go down to Ipswich or Norwich and languish in their youth academy reserve teams without the same prospect of career progression. Very little as yet statistically on McGinlay, but he, as I said, has a couple of under-17 Scotland caps, yet to make his first team debut, but plays as a midfielder and an attacking midfielder. And I, for one, would really like to see Celtic bringing through more and more of their young players, and also bringing in young players who are talented into our academy structure to further their development. And Aiden McGinlay does appear from a lot of scouts to have been a player who's really blossomed this season, playing in the Queen's Park B team, and now Scotland under-17 internationalist. And so we'll see whether that pans out or whether McGinlay chooses to move down south to the academies at Ipswich, Norwich, or others who become interested in him, or whether he may also prefer to stay playing for Queen's Park in the Championship, and see whether he can improve with regular first team experience next year for Queen's Park in the Championship. So a player to watch out for, a player to consider, and a name that may come through as a summertime transfer for compensation fee from Queen's Park to Celtic. And final little bit of transfer news is Celtic appear to be very actively inquiring about the English centre-back Jake Clarke-Salter, currently playing for Queen's Park Rangers at the bottom of the English Championship. Clarke-Salter was a player who was in the Chelsea system for quite a number of years. He went away on loan to a variety of clubs, but never secured a full-time deal with any of the loan clubs, nor did he ever really improve or progress through the Chelsea system. He moved to Queen's Park Rangers a couple of years ago, had a wee bit of an in and out first season, but then this season has established himself and has attracted a lot of interest from English Premier League clubs such as Crystal Palace, Wolves, Burnley, and also is said to be on the radar for Ipswich now that they are promoted to the English Premier League for next season, and also potentially Norwich if they get promoted. And also Celtic have been inquiring about him. They have been quoted a price of £7 million, which does seem rather steep, given his relatively short period of first-team regular football. And I suspect that Celtic are hoping that JCS is another CCV who had a similar career at Spurs before he came to us for the season-long loan, and now is a fully established permanent player at Celtic. From what I've seen of Clarke-Salter, not massively convinced he is of a quality to be better than Navrocki, Lagerbielke, Scales, Welsh, etc. Certainly not anywhere near as good as CCV, but maybe he will be, if he did come to Celtic, a player who blossoms and improves with top coaching and high-level experience. And so, as with several, I think it's a name to watch out for, a name that might develop over the next few weeks and may turn into a permanent deal in the summer. And if it does so, I really hope that it pans out for him. Find a wee bit of uh, content just in relation to, in response to quite a few comments on the channel regarding the announcement of Willie Collum, also some responses from various different Celtic fan sites and newspapers, etc. regarding Collum. I think Collum is a perfectly good referee for the game. I think he's the obvious candidate given who the previous three referees were this season for the Rangers Celtic league matches. I think Willie Collum has made plenty of mistakes, both in favour of Celtic and going against Celtic's favour. Not fully sure what the reputation of the VAR referee McLean is, as to whether he tends to be a VAR referee who just lets decisions stand, or whether he tends to be a ref who likes to re-referee in the mould of John Beaton, who loves re-refereeing games when he is the VAR referee. Willie Collum, of course, was the VAR referee for the Connor Goldson non-handball when he panned the ball over the bar. He also was the VAR referee for the non-handball against Alistair Johnston, which would never have been given a penalty anyway because it was offside. However, with both those things, he did court quite a lot of controversy, and there was a spell, of course, where Rangers were telling the Scottish Premiership they weren't going to accept Willie Collum as their referee ever. However, that appears to have fallen by the wayside, and much the same as when John Beaton was appointed for the Celtic Rangers match a few weeks ago, just after the Celtic Hearts VAR fiasco. It would appear that maybe the Scottish Premiership and the refereeing organisations are kind of telling Rangers, you can't tell us who is the referee and who's not the referee. So I think, as I've said in previous comments, hopefully at the end of the day, when the game is being talked about, it'll all be about the quality of football, the quality of Celtic's play, the quality of our goals that have won the match for us, and not moaning and groaning, and various pundits with their blue glasses on and their green glasses on, arguing about whether it was or it wasn't a penalty, whether it was or it wasn't a yellow card, red card, a foul, offside, etc., etc. So let's hope for a good quality game where referees and VAR are anonymous and aren't a factor, and hopefully we get the win, which will put us on the verge of the title. So that finishes things off for today. We'll do further videos through the week in preparation for Saturday's big game. And so for today, goodbye and hail, hail.